This season of life is wildly insane. I'm a new mom, I'm a wife, business is doing well, and I feel like my mind is going to explode sometimes and I'm being pulled in a whole bunch of directions. So I want to spend some time and be really intentional about how I'm spending my day-to-days, what I'm doing, my milestones, my tasks, goals, all of that. I want to really map it out and get some clarity. That way I feel like I can breathe. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to walk you through my planning session for a new month. So grab a notebook, your pen, your laptop, and let's plan together. So before we begin any planning or organizing or any of that, I like to reflect on the previous month, because if we don't know where we've been, we can't plan for where we're going. That's tweetable, I feel like. So I use a tool that my company created called the Alignment Audit Tool. This just gives me a framework around my reflection session. So I'm going to ask myself, what went well, what didn't go well, what do I want to do more of, what I want to do less of, and all of these responses will help guide me as I plan out my weeks. When I am writing out my answers, it's not categorized in any sense. It's business, it's personal, anything that I can think of, and usually I'll limit it to 3 to 5 different things just to not overwhelm myself. All right, so I'm probably going to continue listing all of this out on my own, and that way I have my personal stuff just hidden. So now that I've had a moment to reflect on the previous month and gain some clarity on what I really want to take from the previous month and let go of from the previous month, I'm going to take some time and outline a master task list. Essentially what this is just a brain dump of everything that I can think of that I need to be responsible for or that I need to take care of, and I will use the information from my alignment session to help guide this list. So things that I'll keep in mind during this piece is upcoming appointments, weekly meetings, engagements, experiences, things of that nature. Okay, so now that I've taken the time to brain dump all of my tasks, I want to move over to my Google Calendar, which is where I plot out my family engagements, any client meetings, anything really that is a larger event or a bigger project, I'll put inside of my Google Calendar. And all of those little tasks will live inside of ClickUp, which is the project management tool that my company uses, as well as my personal brand. And next year in 2022, I plan on using it for family planning as well as just managing lifestyle and family things. So before I dive into adding things to my Google Calendar, I want to take a moment and just rework the way that it looks. I'm a firm believer that if it looks good, then I feel like I'm more likely to actually use it. So right now, I'm not a huge fan of the colors. So I'm going to just update that. And currently I use a Chrome extension called More Calendar, or More Colors for Calendar. And I already have my custom brand colors added here. So what I'm gonna do is just update these by right-clicking and then adding the custom color. And I'm gonna go ahead and do it for all events. And then I'm gonna do it for all events as well. And then as you can see, once I click on it, it'll come up. Perfect. I'll go ahead and do the same. I'll do the same for the rest of these. Oh yeah, actually this is perfect. I like those colors. Content creation, I'm gonna go ahead and change that to black, but I have a specific black that I use, so I'm gonna do that. And then if it doesn't change right away, I'll just click on it and you'll see it'll just change like that. I'll do the same thing for these. I don't know about you, but custom colors and just aesthetics is so important to my organization process, so perfect. So now that my calendar looks vibey, I'm going to plot in any major appointments, meetings, projects, things of that nature inside of my Google Calendar. And something to note, I use a different calendar. So I have several. I have one for client meetings, I have a marketing calendar, internal marketing calendar, reminders. I have a test calendar, and this is where I test things out for any like Zap or automations. I'll use that test calendar. And then I have my weekly time block calendar. I don't add any tasks or events to my time block calendar. This is just a guide for me. I add tasks to my main calendar, my overall main calendar. So I know this may look super hectic to you, but this really helps me as I, go about my day to day. I'm gonna go ahead and start adding in some events. Something that I wanna make sure that I do at the end of each day is not just delegating to my team, but also taking a moment to get clarity on what I'm doing the next day. And honestly, this might just change, but right now, because it is such a busy season for my business, I wanna make sure that I just take some time and get clear on what I'm doing the next day. And at the beginning of each week, I'll plan out what I want each day to look like. However, there will be spillover, I'm sure. So this session is 30 minutes a day, will help get clarity for the next day. Another thing I want to add on here is my morning routine. So if I add it to my calendar, I'm more intentional about it, it'll happen. Morning routine. So I'll add that, and let's find a cute emoji for this. I'll just do the angel, because I'll be at peace in the morning if I do my morning routine, right? That's the vibe. And Layla goes to school or daycare around 7 in the morning. That's when Kevin leaves to drop her off. So I think an 8 a.m. morning routine is reasonable, because usually, they're up and we're all up. So now that I have that added, and I'll take some more time and just fill in the rest of the blanks. So now I'm going to go ahead and declutter the heck out of my inbox. And the inbox that I'm focusing on right now is the one that I'm in most of the time, which is my agency inbox. So first, I'm going to create some labels, and then I'm going to create filters to automatically add all of the emails associated with those filters into the labels. So that way I can have multiple different inboxes. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So first thing, I'm going to go to settings, see all settings. And currently I have a whole bunch of random labels, and I'm going to go ahead and just delete all of them and then start from scratch. So deleting the labels is not going to delete any of the emails. It just gets rid of the labels that were currently there. Okay, now I'm going to create a new label. One of the labels I'm going to create is client, follow up. So anything that I need to follow up with. And then anything for later that I can prioritize at another time. And right now, I think I'll leave it to this for now. I think this will work. So next, I'll go and create the inboxes. So the inbox type we'll want to change to multiple inboxes. And then I'm going to update this section so that put L for label, and then I'll do client, and the section name is going to be client as well. Do L for label, then follow up, and this will also be follow up, and then I will do later. Perfect. I'm going to do 10 instead. At the right is where I prefer that inbox to go. I'm going to go ahead and remove marked as important. That's not as necessary. And then just save the changes there. Perfect. So now that the multiple inboxes have been created, let's go ahead and create the filters. All right, so the first inbox I'm going to work on is the client one. So I'm going to go back to settings and click on filters and block addresses. And then I'm going to create a new filter. And I want all of the emails from my clients to automatically go into the client filter section or the client inbox. So I'm going to apply a label as well. So I'm going to choose the label client, and then I'm going to apply the filter to anything that's currently matching. So any of the previous emails, I'm going to add that as well, and I'll create that filter. So now that I have all of my filters created, I'm going to go ahead and take some time and dive into the rest of my inbox. I'm only going to look at the first 50 or so emails and categorize those. Everything else will be archived. And yeah, that'll give my inbox a nice, clean, fresh slate. So look at this clean inbox. I am so happy. All right, now we tackle my desk. My desk drawer is a hot mess, so I got a few things from Target that I'm going to use and just get this kind of together. And let me know if you're interested or curious to see my office. I have yet to finalize it, but I feel like in the next month or so, it'll be perfect. But for now, we just focus on what we can and we focus on the major things at hand. So one thing I wanted to just work on is the inside of my desk. It's a hot mess, so I'm gonna take some time and get that all perfect. All right, my desk is looking wild. I mean, y'all, look at this. These postpartum wipes that I haven't used in months. So we're just gonna finesse this. I need to get some storage/organization solutions for my office because this is not the vibe yet, and I need a vibey space to have a vibey mind. So yeah, that's what we're gonna go do. Where are we going, babe?
Home?
No, our favorite spot.
McDonald's.
No,
Target.
Target. What are we buying?
I think I'm gonna get some magic cards, probably some clothes for Layla, and I also need socks.
Okay. The purpose of this trip is to get office stuff, but Kevin has
have an office.
Okay, Kevin doesn't have an office, so he has his own list. So off we go. Much better. All right, so there's a few more things I wanted to do in my office, but Layla is asleep and it's late, so I'm gonna go ahead and just end this right here. But I walked you through my entire planning session. This is what I do when I'm planning for a new month or for a new week. That is the rundown. I hope this was helpful for you. Take what you want and leave the rest. And if you like this video, please leave a comment. Let me know what else you'd like to see. I appreciate you, and I hope that you're staying safe, healthy, and yeah, just sending you good vibes.